All right, Steve, why don't you come up here? Steve Levy, everyone. Big round of applause.
I have to jump on the stage. I have directives this time. I have to jump on stages. No surprises. Just so you know, I just signed on this week, actually this morning. It's one of the Crowded advisors. I've been involved. I'm an engineer across over to the dark side. So I have 15 years doing engineering work. Then I decided to look like an HR person and recruiter for 28 years. And what I like about this place is these guys are really good. Joe, where's Joe, and Mark and Howie, who's not here, at finding ways to get the word out and then marketing all of you to employers around the country. And make no bones about it, this is New York, but what's happening here is also taking place in Atlanta, Chicago, LA, and other cities I can make up right now, but I think are on the plan. So to the employers here, who here is an employer? Raise your hands. Brian. There you go, Brian. So just keep in mind, there are going to be more and more employers here for you to speak to, and don't be shy. This is not a place to be shy. This is a place to go up to someone and say,
hey there.
Hello, Mr. Baldman, how are you?
I resemble that remark.
Yeah, so do I. Anyway, so a couple of things here, because I only have 7 minutes. Jamie, go back. There you go. Resumes suck, but you know what? We use them, and they're not going in, no matter how many young entrepreneurs with participation trophies tell you their resumes are going to go away. They're not going away anytime soon. So let's find a way to deal with them and make them work for all of us. Click. So this is me. I really was a Tau Beta Pi engineer. I don't remember that because it took place in like 1978. How many people here weren't even alive in 1978? Oh, Jesus. I source, I recruit. My industry nickname, I'm actually called Uncle Steve, which can be viewed as a pejorative thing. I just view it as a rite of passage. I'm advisor to Crowded and a couple of other recruiting tech tools, Hire Tools, eTech, Day 100. ERE is to the employers here is the granddaddy of sourcing and recruiting conferences, and it's where people learn really cool things like what GitHub really means. Oh look, you have a GitHub code repo. You must be really good. People, they say things like that, and you're just embarrassed for them. I need to get off the stage now. It's too high for me. Sorry, Joe. And I need 40 hours every day. I've actually was at Jones Beach Lifeguard for 34 summers. Anybody ever go to Jones Beach? Anybody here go to Field 6? Then it's entirely possible I either yelled at you or rescued you. Yeah, and I really like tattoos, and one of the tattoos, you see, these are my corporate tattoos. Okay, and I actually have a seahorse from Jones Beach Lifeguards. I won't show that to you because it would probably be rated. And if I wasn't a recruiter or sourcer, I'd be a kindergarten teacher or a park ranger. So it's always good to have in your head. I asked this as an interview question. I'm back on the stage again. I can't help it. If you weren't an engineer or developer or whatever you want to be, what would you be just for the sheer love and joy of doing it? And don't bullshit me because I can tell when you're bullshitting me. So think about that. That tells me a lot, because more often than not, what it is you want to do if you weren't doing what you're doing is something related to what you're doing. It sounds really tautological and weird, but it's true. The reason why a kindergarten teacher is good, because I've worked with a lot of executives, and kindergarten students have a higher emotional intelligence than most CEOs I know. So that's how that works well with me. Click. How many people think ATSs eat your resume? They're living, ugly, breathing beings, and they and the problem is, this is what we all think happens to your resume. This is what these are applicant tracking systems. We'll keep your resume on file. No, that's bullshit. It's really not like that. Yeah, that too. And so. The thing is, applicant tracking systems, a little bit of education here, they're just pieces of software that do what they're programmed to do or do what the recruiters on the other side or the hiring managers on the other side want them to do. They do not go, oh, this person worked at company, I'm going to throw them out. It doesn't work like that. There is a certain amount of keyword matching, but it's dumb keyword matching. There isn't a single applicant tracking system on the market that does smart stuff, semantic stuff. It doesn't exist. So to a certain extent, I'm going to tell you how to get past the ATS. You got this, Brian? Okay, brother. So a couple of things here before I'm going to let this thing run here. Some silly mistakes that I've seen on resumes after 28 years. You know this billboard sign, you know when you're like 127-point font for your name? Because you think, well, you know, maybe they'll think I'm important. Now, it just makes me wonder how rich you are and you're using up ink and stuff like that. References will be furnished upon request. No shit. I'm sorry, can I have your references, Ryan? No. So don't take that line off your resumes. That line can be used for something, other stuff that's really, really important. To period or not to period, that is the question. I think most people have this special algorithm that they use to decide when an accomplishment ends in a period and when it doesn't. So I guarantee you, 50% of the crowd here has wayward periods. That doesn't sound good. I apologize. And I'm a father too. This is like really bad here. And so, I'm not really, but it's the only way to get out of that stupid remark. But think about it, you know, consistency is important. Now, applicant tracking systems don't care. Once it's in an applicant tracking system, whether you're consistent or not doesn't make a difference. But when it comes time for face-to-face interviews, I look at those things. Well, it's just a stupid little error. Well, I'm wondering what's going to happen in your code then if it's just a stupid little error. Consistency is important. No kidding. I have seen too many experts in Microsoft Excel to last a lifetime. Pardon? Yeah. We're not going to get political here. And detail, how many people have detail orientated on a resume? It's not even a word. Pardon me? You like most job descriptions too. Yeah, so there's that copy and paste. Well, you get something from career services or from a career expert, you must have detail orientated. Do you see those are really detail orientated? Okay, click. A couple of things more, 6 more silly mistakes, and then I'm going to get to finally generic objectives. I want to work for a company that values my skill and experience where I can grow, and I have no idea what that means. That's a waste of stuff. Summaries that are down to specifics, this type of environment, this type of stack, this type of product, this type of scalability, this type of bandwidth, things like that in a summary. Spelling out industry acronyms for the applicant tracking system. An API is an API. If a dumbass recruiter doesn't know what an API is, they shouldn't be doing tech recruiting. And finally, yeah, those emails, I'm not kidding, that was a real one. That was a real one. And you know, first, you can always find variations of your first name or some sort of Vulcan warlords. That's fine too. A friend of mine recruits for Blizzard Entertainment. If anyone wants to do game designing, I can hook you up. He sees some of the coolest emails you've ever imagined. Click. But please do these. These are 4 things where if they're on your resume, you're going to stand a far better than average chance of getting past whoever's trying to screen you. Mind you, there's a stupid practice called screening to exclude rather than screening to include. The dumbest thing recruiters do is look at your paper and they go, this is the person. There's not a single person here who, when they write their resume, doesn't have more stuff that they could put on that at any point in time could sway a hiring manager from bringing you into an interview. So finally, detailed technology section sorted by strength. Don't put everything on. You can say listed in, stack, libraries, APIs listed by strength. You can, listing the stack for each project that you have on your resume. Every company that you've worked for has a different stack. I suggest even including version numbers. It's just a way of a recruiter going, I don't know, this is a lot of fancy mumbo jumbo on this thing. I don't understand it. I'm going to push it to the hiring manager. They'll understand better. Including links to position-related social media accounts, code repos, blogs, portfolios, community profiles. If you are active on any forum or community, put that in there, because as a recruiter or hiring manager, we're going to go there and take a look at it, aren't we, Brian? And why are we going to do that? I'm putting a sorcerer on the spot. No, don't worry, Brian. I'll leave you alone. I'll leave you alone for that one. And finally, I want to know what you're learning to do more. You see, earlier I said professional experience. Whenever someone has professional experience on their resume, I will look for a section. I'm looking for a section that says amateur experience. I don't know why, but I am. I'd rather see what I'm learning. And if you're taking online courses, and I don't give a rat's ass what it is, whatever you're taking in online courses, as long as it's there to improve what you're doing, I want to know about it. It's going to tell me something about you. Click. So before we go here, I'm going to give you a LinkedIn hack. Probably many of you are saying, no, hiring managers, they don't accept my LinkedIn invitations. I don't know how to connect with them. What's a technical person to do in a world of analog non-techies? Well, here's a hack. If you go to LinkedIn, and you'll get, I'm actually going to post this deck up far quicker than I did the last time. If you go to LinkedIn in the search box, type school, your school. I went to University of Vermont, so I put University of Vermont in quotes. Then hit a space, then go company, one of your target companies. And I said Google, and this is what I got. Click. So when I searched school, University of Vermont, space, company, Google, I had 11 results. These are people I went to university. Anybody here go to UVM? Damn. Okay, well, if you went to UVM and you wanted to work at Google, you would get these 11 people, and they're all techies. Okay, Steve, what the hell does that mean? Click. This is what I send them in a connect message. Steve, we both have two very important things in common. One, we're both catamounts. Where'd you go to school? Ashok. Okay, what university was it?
Bangalore University.
Okay, did you have like a mascot or something like that? Okay, well in that case, we both went to Bangalore University. Anybody here go to University of Michigan or something like that? Okay, okay, school, shout out to school. How about the running rabbis of Yeshiva University or something like that?
George Washington University.
Okay, what's the mascot?
The Colonials.
Okay, we're both colonials. And then I say, I graduated in 1980 back when the campus was mostly mud. You put something fun in there like that. 2, you work at Google in an area that interests me. Care to connect and chat with a fellow UVMer? Almost 100% response rate. That's the hack of the day. Click. Questions? Jacob.
When you mentioned don't do these things, you showed professional experience on the screen, but you didn't go into detail.
Oh, my apologies. Professional experience, it was professional experience in bold, italicized, underlined, with a colon at the end. That is overkill. You don't have to get fancy schmancy with your resume. In the old days, we used to get salmon-colored paper. It smells like locks. This is just not quite right. Question? It was a question of, does one page matter? My personal feeling is anyone who is so anally attached to a one-page resume shouldn't be in our profession. The thing is, think about your LinkedIn profile, by the way, is your resume on steroids. So if you want to do a one-page resume, just say, you can also include up at top, full details are here. And what do you think, Brian? What? You do care? We're going to have a rehab. We're going to have to rehab you 10-10 data, folks. Because at the end of the day, the truth, you don't care? I love you. Metaphorically, you know that. Look, my friends who do run recruiting at really large technology companies like Amazon, they don't care. They don't care. If it takes a little longer, if you've got good stuff on it, my job is to read it. So I can't help, I apologize for those who do hold you accountable for one page. I think they're morons, but I couldn't care less. Yeah.
I know that you alluded to robots who pour through resumes and not so much eat them up, but push them away. They push them away.
Well, they push them away because, quite frankly, many of the times the resumes, if your resume is so generic that if you hand it to the person next to you, they could say, oh, that would work for me too.
But the thing is, it encourages you to use certain buzzwords in your resume.
There's nothing wrong with using buzzwords, but you have to have the buzzwords, but give me some meat.
Exactly. I'm just wondering how robots could
They can't right now.
can allow you to process things with unique idiosyncrasies that they can add value.
You're assuming you're making it, and I'll talk to you offline. But you're making massive assumptions on the capabilities of an applicant tracking system.
I suppose, yes.
Okay, Joe.
Awesome. Steve Levy, thank you very much.
Incidentally, if you have more questions about resumes, just think of them and grab me, but not too hard.
Steve will be here all night. Thank you very much, Steve.